My twin brother isn't my twin. He's actually my mother's secret love child with another man. And I only found out because he needed a kidney transplant. Let me take you back to how this all started. Growing up, Marcus and I were inseparable. Everyone always said we looked nothing alike for twins, but we just laughed it off. He had Dad's green eyes and darker skin, while I got Mom's blue eyes and pale complexion. Fraternal twins can look totally different, Mom would always say with this weird smile. We shared everything. The same birthday parties, the same friends, the same dreams of going to college together. Marcus was my best friend, my protector, my other half. When kids at school teased me, he'd step in. When I cried over my first heartbreak, he brought me ice cream and stayed up all night talking. Our parents seemed like the perfect couple. Dad worked construction, Mom was a nurse. They'd been together since high school, or so we thought. Family dinners were loud and happy. Sunday mornings meant pancakes and cartoons. Normal suburban life. But looking back now, there were signs I should have noticed. Mom would get this distant look whenever people commented on how different Marcus and I looked. She'd change the subject really quickly. And sometimes, late at night, I'd hear her crying in the bathroom. When I'd ask Dad about it, he'd just say your mother works hard. She gets emotional. There were the hushed phone calls too. Mom would step outside or go to the basement whenever her phone rang with certain numbers. She'd always come back looking flustered, claiming it was work drama. Marcus had these weird health issues growing up. Nothing major, but different from mine. He was allergic to things I wasn't. His blood type came up different during a school health screening, and Mom got really defensive about it. Labs make mistakes all the time, she snapped at the nurse. The strangest thing was how Mom acted around Marcus compared to me. Don't get me wrong, she loved us both. But with Marcus, there was this intensity. This guilt. Like she was constantly trying to make something up to him. Then 3 months ago, everything shattered. Marcus collapsed during his college finals. Just dropped right there in the library. The doctors ran test after test, and the diagnosis hit us like a truck: kidney disease. Aggressive, genetic, life-threatening. He needs a transplant, the doctor explained. Family members are usually the best matches. We'll test everyone. I volunteered immediately. Of course I did. He was my twin brother. But when the results came back, the doctor looked confused. He asked to speak with our parents privately first. Through the thin hospital walls, I heard fragments: not possible. Different fathers. Need to explain. My stomach dropped. What were they talking about? Mom came out of that room looking like she'd seen a ghost. Dad's face was stone cold. Marcus was still unconscious, hooked up to machines, completely unaware that our entire family was about to explode. We need to talk, Dad said quietly. All of us. At home. The car ride was dead silent. I kept staring at Marcus, searching his face for answers. How had I never noticed that his nose was completely different from mine? His hands? Even unconscious, he looked like a stranger. At home, Mom sat us down at the kitchen table where we'd shared thousands of meals. Her hands were shaking. There's something I need to tell you both, she whispered. Something I should have told you years ago. Marcus had woken up by then, weak but alert. He looked as confused as I felt. Marcus, Mom said, not meeting his eyes. You're not Dad's biological son. The words hung in the air like poison. What are you talking about? Marcus's voice was barely audible. Mom started crying. 18 years ago, your father and I went through a rough patch. We separated for a few months. I thought it was over between us. I met someone else. My dad stood up abruptly and walked to the window, his back to us. I got pregnant, Mom continued. But by the time I realized it, your father and I had gotten back together. We were trying to work things out. I was terrified of losing him again. I felt like I was drowning. This couldn't be real. So you lied? I whispered. I told him I was having twins, she sobbed. I knew you were his, sweetie. The timing was right. But Marcus. I convinced him that sometimes twins come at different times, that Marcus was just developing differently. Your father believed me because he wanted to. Marcus looked like he was going to be sick. Who's my real father? And then came the bombshell that destroyed everything I thought I knew about my family. Dr. Richardson, Mom whispered. My supervisor at the hospital. Dr. Richardson. The man who'd been at every birthday party. Every family barbecue. The man I'd called Uncle Rick my entire life. He wasn't our family friend. He was Marcus's father. Does he know? Marcus asked. Mom nodded, tears streaming down her face. He's known the whole time. We decided together to keep it secret. He's been helping pay for things, your college tuition, your car. I told you both it was financial aid and graduation gifts. I looked at my dad, this man who'd raised Marcus as his own son for 18 years. Dad? He finally turned around, and I saw tears in his eyes. I suspected, he said quietly. Deep down, I always suspected. But I loved him anyway. I love you both. The room fell silent except for Mom's crying. But the story wasn't over. Because that night, while Marcus was processing the fact that his entire life was a lie, my phone rang. It was Dr. Richardson. I heard about Marcus, he said. About the kidney situation. I need to talk to your family. He came over within the hour. Seeing him walk into our living room, this man I'd hugged at Christmas dinners and called uncle, knowing he was Marcus's real father, was surreal. I want to be tested, he said immediately. As a donor match. But then he dropped another bomb. There's something else you all need to know. I have polycystic kidney disease. It's genetic. He looked directly at Marcus. Son, this disease, it came from me. Marcus stared at him. So not only did you help create this lie that destroyed my family, but you also gave me the disease that's killing me? Dr. Richardson's face crumpled. I'm so sorry. I wanted to tell you so many times. But your mother thought dash. Don't blame this on her, Marcus cut him off. You both made this choice. The worst part? Dr. Richardson couldn't be a donor. His own kidneys were too damaged from the same disease. But I could be. The test showed I was still a perfect match, twin or not. We'd grown up together, our bodies had adapted to each other somehow. 2 weeks later, I gave Marcus one of my kidneys. As we lay in recovery bed side by side, he grabbed my hand. I'm sorry, he whispered. This whole thing is insane, but you're still my sister. Biology doesn't change that. You're right, I said. We may not share the same dad, but we share the same childhood. The same love. That makes us family. Our parents are in therapy now. Dad is trying to forgive 18 years of lies. Mom is finally dealing with the guilt she's carried all this time. Dr. Richardson quit his job and moved across the country. I think the shame was too much for him. Marcus and I are both healing, physically and emotionally. We talk every day. He calls me his chosen sister now, and honestly, that feels more meaningful than twin ever did. Sometimes the family you choose is stronger than the family you're born into. And sometimes, the biggest betrayals lead to the deepest truths. Marcus is healthy now. We're both starting fresh, with honesty this time. Have you experienced something like this? Tell me in the comments.